All right? Belt lines are good right where they are. You gentlemen received my instructions prior to the bout, so you know what I expect. A good, clean, professional fight. Obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves if you choose. Good luck to you both.
So we are set for our opening contest in the 140-pound division. Shohjahon Ergashev looking to keep his name in conversations about title shots as Julian Smith looks to add to that clubhouse lead in terms of the upset of the year and score what would be an even more remarkable upset here tonight against a true top 15 140-pounder in Shohjahon Ergashev.
Ergashev, a blazing starter against Subriel Matias. He literally dominated for the first round and a half. Matias came back in that fight, but Ergashev, a quick starter, that is a concern for Smith, although Smith, he's coming out very, very strong in this first round.
Yeah, he is, trying to surprise Ergashev Smith by applying pressure, but like I said, he's got to be careful when he attacks because Ergashev is trying to set him up. You see how Ergashev is pawing with the jab. He's pawing with the jab. He's taking a step back. He's trying to land that left hand. So the way Smith attacks, he's got to attack at angles and keep turning him and just never stand in front of Ergashev because he's going to get caught by those left hands.
See Ergashev kind of motioning with that left hand to go to the body. There he throws it for real. And he said he's been focusing a lot more on landing body shots in training camp, and he feels that it could be a body shot that could end the night for him here tonight.
Yeah, well, he's a good body puncher. We've seen how he paralyzed his last opponent that we had him here with body shots. Those body shots, they hurt. They take everything out. Sometimes when I was a fighter, I'd rather take a headshot than a body shot because I knew how effective they were and what damage they would do.
Smith is lunging with the right hand, and he has to be careful about that because that Ergashev left, which is so powerful, can catch him coming in.
And not only does he lunge with his right hand, but also lunges when he throws his left hand. So he's got to watch that. He's got to keep his weight in the center, back leg when he attacks. Don't get over his front feet. I tell you what, so far, Smith is surprising me with his attitude that he has. As soon as the bell rings, he has no fear. The way he's attacking a monster like Ergashev that we know that has paralyzing power. He just got caught. It seems like Ergashev got caught. He's complaining about a right hand.
There's a little right hand that kind of scraped the face of Ergashev there, but he comes right back with a nice left hand down the middle. Julian Smith has certainly been right hand happy here in the opening round, but some of them have connected.
He missed there with a 1-2, and he knew it. He knows it. See how Smith now he's carrying his weight in his back leg on the center. That's where he needs to be at. That's where he could maximize his power when he throws his power hands.
That'll do it for round one. Take a look at the corner of Shohjahon Ergashev. That's Timur Ibragimov. You might recognize him if you're a fan of 90s and 2000s heavyweight boxing, the coach of Shohjahon Ergashev. Also an Olympian. We have to work in Olympic references because of the time period. Back live here in Detroit, a competitive first round between Shohjahon Ergashev and the quiet storm Julian Smith.
Ergashev suggested to us he would show a little more of his boxing skills tonight, not necessarily be the attacker that sometimes he is early, and we saw a little bit of that, a calmer pace from him in round one.
Nice left hand over the top there from Ergashev.
Yeah, he's controlling, setting up that left hand with the jab just by touching with the jab. But Smith is doing the same thing too with his jab. Smith has fought 5 left-handers, so you could tell he's got experience fighting lefties. So far, I don't think he's having any problems trying to figure out Ergashev. Keeps lunging, throws that right hand. Talking about Smith, he just lunged when he threw that right hand.
He also just got caught with the best right hook that Ergashev has landed in this fight, and that is a tremendous body shot. That's the exact shot that Ergashev has been looking to line up since the opening bell sounded.
Ergashev back in action, only 4 months since that first round KO win he had, and he wants to stay active and get big fights, and this one's mandatory to win to get there.
Ergashev just landed like 3 consecutive solid left hands. I think he needs to get a little bit closer, close that distance a little bit more to maximize that power, you know, get more leverage off that left hand. But Smith took him very well too, Corey.
Yeah, Ergashev, very little movement from Ergashev right now. He's almost just standing flat-footed, daring Smith to try and beat him to a punch.
Exactly, he's baiting him in, taking a look. He's trying to create room. He baits him in with the jab and then he takes a step back. There's that step back, and watch that counter left hand come down the middle, or sometimes he opens up with the left hand to the body.
And Smith's squaring up when he throws that right, which makes him an easier target for the left of Ergashev.
So far, he's taken some good left hands by Ergashev, surprisingly. And I mean, Smith has never been down either. So if Ergashev could get him out of there, that's something you could say. I mean, he's a fighter in Smith that is durable. He's got a good chin. He's never been down.
Yeah, he's stressed that he's never been down in any capacity, in sparring, in the amateurs, ever.
Yeah.
He is
well, there you go.
Insistent
He's
that he has never been
confident about
dropped.
that. He's prideful with that.
I saw him fight when he was an amateur Golden Gloves champion in Chicago, and he did get hit by some guys and didn't even come close to going down.
Final 10 seconds of the round as Ergashev lands another one of those body shots. Crowd wanting a little bit more action. There's a nice right hand over the top. And another one, and down goes Ergashev. And that will not be ruled a knockdown. Was that a timing issue, or is that... Wow. So a stunning end to round 2, where it looked like Julian Smith had scored a knockdown over Shohjahon Ergashev. It was not ruled a knockdown. We couldn't figure out whether the referee just thought it was a slip, whether it was a timing issue that it came after the bell.
It was clear. It was a knockdown.
And whether it was ruled one or not, we were watching during the break in the corner of Shohjahon Ergashev, and Timur Ibragimov is rubbing the legs of Shohjahon Ergashev, trying to wake him up. So it certainly felt like a knockdown, whether it was ruled one or not.
Absolutely, Corey. Trust me, he felt that right hand by Smith, and he just landed again the right hand. Watch, they're both trying to bait each other. It's like a fencing game with their jabs. They're controlling the distance with the jab, touching with the jab. Smith is trying to land that overhand right or a straight right hand. There he goes. And then Ergashev is trying to land his left hand.
The only possible explanation is that the referee thinks that punch landed after the bell, but there was no indication of that either. So very strange circumstance. But yes, Smith, he pinned his hopes on that right hand all through the round, and finally he got one there.
Smith just did a little bit of switching. He switched to left hand. He's back to right hand now.
Nice body shot there from Ergashev a moment ago. trying to stabilize himself after a scary moment at the end of round 2.
Yeah, I see a little bit of desperation in Ergashev's eyes, and I see Smith a lot of more composed, more cool, more taking his time.
Well, and remember, Ergashev, who is a monstrous power puncher, can turn things around in a second, but he's not looking himself right now in this fight. We'll see how that changes.
I'll tell you what, he was probably surprised that he got caught with that big right hand and went down after the bell or whatever, however they ruled it, whatever happened.
There comes some power for Ergashev.
Ergashev starting to wind up. A couple of moments ago, he landed kind of that bow and arrow right hook that he likes to throw. He kind of shows the left hand that brings the right hook immediately behind it.
But surprisingly, look, Smith taking his shot pretty well. He's still coming forward. That's where he makes a mistake. He can't wing his shot like that, talking about Smith. Because then he's open for Ergashev to counter with his left hand. Like he did right now. Not too much damage with that left hand.
Smith looking for that same right hand.
And he's close with him.
Yeah, he's getting closer. He's edging in. There it goes again. He just missed.
He got hit with a body shot in the process. Good exchange. As we enter the closing moments of this round, a nice left hook connects from Julian Smith.
We will go back to the moment when, right at the end of the round, we will see an overhand right from Smith. And that one started the problem for Ergashev, and then here comes another one. Clearly a knockdown. The only question, how he could rule that not a knockdown unless it came after the bell, is beyond comprehension. Rodriguez saying this is not a knockdown. My God, it was a right hand that landed right on the chin.
2 consecutive right hands. And look where Smith's body weight is positioned, right in the center. He was coming with everything. Good leverage, good power. And did you see the results? What happened?
Well, you could also see in that aerial view, guys, that was not a footwork issue.
No.
That was just a right hand that dropped Ergashev. At least for now, that is in a pass, but considering how competitive this fight is, it could loom later on in the fight, but round 4 now begins.
Well, the other thing that punch does is it lets Ergashev know that's possible, and it could happen again. So,
Well, there's that winging left hand again by Ergashev. Explosive, fast, 3 of them.
At his best, Ergashev, with that jab and straight left hand, the quickness and power of that combination has just been devastating in this division. And the only man that didn't succumb to it, and boy, he came close, was Subriel Matias.
Good uppercut there where Ergashev changed it up, changed that left hand, and spun him around. Ergashev is boxing Smith now. Nothing wrong with that. You just don't expect that from Ergashev because he's a pressure fighter. He's got power. Comes to knock you out, but now he's using his boxing skills.
Coming back to the inside with a nice left hand. Now whips it around the guard of Julian Smith, who looks for a right hand of his own.
I'll tell you what, I feel like Julian Smith now, every time he knows he landed that 2 big right hands, and now he's just looking for that big right hand.
Well, Smith's output in this fight, he has not been a lot of big volume, but he has had his moments where he has landed the big punches clearly, especially toward the end of that round.
Yeah, I'd like to see more activity from Smith, more combinations off that jab. That right hand, he's very relaxed in there.
Smith is a very competent fighter. There's not one area of his boxing that jumps out at you, but he's been a very competent fighter, even with that 8-2 record. And of course, in his last fight, was more than that.
The adopted hometown of Shohjahon Ergashev, not pleased with what's going on right now.
Yeah, he can't fight off the emotions of the crowd. You know, he's got to do what he's got to do to win. If he's got to circle around and box him, then do that. A win is a win.
Now there was Smith using the jab, doubling and tripling with the jab. That is a very smart move by his partner. He landed several of them.
15 seconds here of round 4.
Oh,
Ergashev looking to line up that left hand. Another left hand connected by Ergashev a moment ago as Smith momentarily picks up the pace. But that'll do it for round 4. Rising super middleweight star Diego Pacheco takes another main event opportunity as he takes on the hard-hitting Maciej Sulecki. The toughest test for the unbeaten Pacheco coming your way Saturday, August 31st in Los Angeles, right here on DAZN. And days after signing a contract extension with Matchroom, it was announced that Rocky Hernandez will take on the Gunna Man, Thomas Matisse, in the main event on September 13th from Hermosillo, Mexico, as the all-action Mexican looks to get back into title contention. Round 5 underway. Shohjahon Ergashev and Julian Smith in our opening contest here from the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan.
Julian Smith got this fight on 5 weeks' notice, and he said, I was training. They called me. They said, this opportunity is in front of you. He said, I knew it could change my life, and he said, I took it. And he's hoping this will change his life, and if he can find more lightning in the bottle with his right hand, maybe he'll do it.
Yeah, and he just said that the calls weren't coming, and you look at how boxing matchmaking usually goes, an 8-2 fighter doesn't look pretty on the resume, especially in one that's coming off an upset win like his over Velasquez. That's not exactly tempting for a lot of matchmakers.
Yeah, exactly. And so he took the opportunity, and here he is competing tonight.
He's definitely competing. I think he's surprising a lot of us, a lot of people. You know, most of us probably didn't think he would go 5 rounds so far with Ergashev, and I believe Ergashev believes that too. I think he's surprised that he's still in there with him.
I think he got surprised by a sneaky left hook there from Julian Smith a moment ago.
And you know, neither man has had a lot of volume, so these rounds are a little tricky to score in a lot of respects. And we'll see whether either man pumps up the volume with him.
Ergashev holding on. It's warned by the referee.
So far, I don't think it's unfair to say this has not been an Ergashev-like performance for the most part, even though he's had moments of good combination punching.
Beautiful counter
rating shots
hook,
there.
Yeah, the counter left hook by.
Yeah, both men broke through. I think that the left hook from Smith was a little bit better, but Ergashev came right back with a left hand down the pipe. In a lot of respects, Raul, they're kind of playing the same game here. They're directly in front of one another, just looking for the right look for their power shot.
You're absolutely right. They're measuring each other out. It's just about who's got the right balance, who's got the right distance, who connects with either their power hand, like Smith with his right hand, or Ergashev with his left hand, and they come back with the right hook. It's just a matter of time. They're edging out. They're getting closer as the rounds go. They need to get closer to each other, and hopefully we'll see more activity, more action.
Well, for someone in Ergashev who's trying to regain buzz, trying to get some buzz around his name for a potential title shot, this is probably not the way he wanted this fight to go. Realistically, he was knocked down in the second round, and down he goes again!
This time it's for real.
Wow!
Yeah.
The quiet storm. Julian Smith should have 2 knockdowns right now, but as you just put it, Raul, that one was for real.
You will see Smith, like I was saying, just they're edging up. You know, they're getting closer, and that's how he landed. He landed a right hand, but it was more the left hook that put Ergashev down. There's that right hand, kind of slipped a little bit, but then came right back with a fast left hook and put Ergashev down, and he's hurt, and he's winking his eye at me, telling me he's okay, Ergashev.
Sen oyna baka dudar bilen kaçınma dudar bilen. Sen de kopma oynadın. Kopma ondan sonra. Vay.
We'll see if Julian Smith can capitalize on a stunning end to round 5, putting Shohjahon Ergashev, former world title challenger, on the canvas for the 2nd time, the first time that was counted by the referee.
Tell you what, Smith wasted no time. He wants to keep that momentum going. Look at him.
And the thing about this fight that still makes it so fascinating is we know Ergashev has that power, and he can change a fight in 1 second. But right now, it's a flat performance for him.
But at the same time, you know, now we're also finding out that Smith has that kind of power, the same or even more. So I'm sure Ergashev is, you know, he's got to be careful when he throws his shots. He knows, look, if I get countered and I get caught, I'm going to go down because he went down twice already.
Right, well, Raul, describe for us how Smith can be as effective as he is, because you look at Julian Smith, and sometimes these punches, they look a little slow, they look a little bit labored, and then all of a sudden, the shots that can drop a world-class fighter, they just come out of it.
I think it's his explosiveness. You know, the way he landed that right hand, he missed with the right hand kind of, but he came right back with that hook. It was explosive and fast, and that's what caught Ergashev and put him down. So I believe it's his explosiveness. He changed the speeds of his combination. He kind of like taunts, maybe some, not slow motion, but just puts it out there, and then he picks up the, he's explosive with it and fast. And that's the way Ergashev got caught. And he gets wild at times too. Well, but it's working so far. Like
the Quiet Storm, obviously a nickname in reference to something else, but it's kind of apt in terms of his fighting style as well. There's another sweeping left hook that sneaks in there.
And he's not paying the price for all this lunging boy. Hopefully no injuries there.
He's trying to show the crowd there in the referee, like, I'm not trying to hold, I'm trying to fight. Ergashev is the one that's getting the warnings.
There's Smith with the jab. You know, that's an underused weapon by him, but when he does use it, it's effective.
Good body shot there by Ergashev. He changed up his left hand to the body, and he landed, but he didn't move Smith at all. I'll tell you, look, those left hands don't move Smith at all. He's just taking them or blocking them or making them miss.
The other thing about Ergashev tonight is no combination punching. We're used to seeing that from him. And Smith's turning the lefty more and more in this fight.
As Ergashev grabbing a hold here, and we just nearly had another takedown. As Ergashev just misses on that body shot right at the bell. And the quote is in the building. Claressa Shields vying for the WBC heavyweight title here tonight. She has packed the house here in Detroit once more. A moment that probably seemed unthinkable when Shields turned pro, that she would be fighting up at heavyweight here tonight, looking to add to what is already an overflowing trophy case back home in Flint.
on that.
Yeah, Julian
So
Smith
you
comes
like
out
that?
firing that left hook immediately.
Behind the head. A little bit behind the head. Might have been a little bit illegal, you know, but that's boxing. I don't think he meant to do that.
Hard left hand there from Ergashev.
But look at the way Smith is carrying his weight in his back leg. He's touching, but look where his weight is at in his back leg. We lunged there a little bit, and again. And he keeps doing it, but Ergashev doesn't capitalize on that.
Yeah, that's the key thing. The straight left that we would expect to come at that moment is not there for Ergashev.
Or you know what? Not even the straight left. Whenever Smith lunges,
Yes, exactly.
go up the middle with an uppercut with the left hand.
Yeah.
They come back with the right hook. He would catch him if he did that, Corey.
There's that left hook again.
Watch that left hook. You know, he's baiting him in with that left hook. He's going to throw the left hook, and then he's going to be explosive with the right hand. No, there's the right hand. A little bit faster with the right hand. Right hook again. Now he's measuring. Smith is measuring, not with the jab, but with the right hook to try to set up with the left hook to try to set up the right hand. Now
Flush left
switches.
hand right down the middle from Ergashev a moment ago.
Back to righty again now.
Ergashev landed a really nice left hand a moment ago, and it did not impact Smith at all. And you know, Smith has been one time 10 rounds, a loss to Kevin Brown. Ergashev 2-0 at 10-round distance, and we're headed toward the final rounds here potentially.
We just don't see the spring in the step of Shohjahon Ergashev right now. And again, we go back to after the knockdown that wasn't in the second round, we saw Timur Ibragimov massaging the leg of Shohjahon Ergashev, the same leg, by the way, where he suffered that stabbing. So I think it is fair to ask the question, is Ergashev actually the same after what he went through?
Of course, he did get the win after the Matias fight after that, but that was a one-round knockout. And here's the other question about these rounds. They're very slow-paced rounds. You ask yourself, in some of them, how are they being scored?
Not a lot of activity by both fighters, but both fighters, they're trying to land power shots.
Yeah.
They're going for they're trying to land knockout shots. Who's landed more? I don't know, it's back and forth, it feels like it. Oh, there's that uppercut I was talking about.
Yeah, good shot from Ergashev a moment ago. Beat Smith to the punch. Smith looking for another sweeping right hand, but that'll do it for the round. You see the sign language, obviously, communicating with Julian Smith. Once in a while during the action, you will see Julian Smith kind of peek over to his corner for instruction. Take a look back at some of the action.
Ergashev trying to set up that straight left, and that was the one that we referenced in the last round that landed very well. It wasn't the perfect left, but it was pretty good. That's the kind of Ergashev left hand that often stuns or hurts badly his opponents.
Round 8 now underway in our opening contest here between Shohjahon Ergashev and Julian Smith. Smith coming off a stunning upset win over Orestes Velasquez in Orlando on an MVP promotions card here on DAZN in February. And right now, he is giving as good as he's getting with a legitimate top 15 140-pounder here tonight and has had him on the canvas twice.
Ergashev ranked number 13 by one of the organizations, and of course he had the title shot against Subriel Matias, was doing extraordinarily well, ultimately ended up losing that fight, but this is really an interesting and amazing turn of events. And let's remember now, what of the missed knockdown by referee Rodriguez? How much will that play into if this fight goes to a decision?
Well, especially, Raul, as you pointed out last round, when there are so many rounds that are up for interpretation, whereas low-volume rounds, both men are landing the occasional power shot, that missed knockdown is really looming over this fight right now.
I agree. Yeah, that's some controversy there with that missed knockdown. The only thing Smith could do is go out there and try to land that big shot earlier, and it'll end matters. Ergashev needs to pick up his jab, and you know, every time he throws that jab hand, he carries it low, he comes back with it low, and watch that counter check left hook by Smith. Good block there. He should have countered off of that. He tried.
You know, remember the old days when Ergashev told us the body work was going to be vital in this fight? He just threw a left hand to the body. He has not been able to do that much at all in this fight because he's been on his heels.
He's been on his heels. Yeah, you're right. He's been backing up, and he doesn't really want to engage in a toe-to-toe match, go back and forth, you know, mano-mano with Smith.
That's right.
Every time Smith entertains that, but Ergashev holds on to him, and you could see Smith trying to show the crowd and the referee, like, look, I'm trying to wiggle out of there, like, let me go.
Left hand just bounces off the shoulder of Julian Smith. You know, I wonder, Raul, with the way that Smith carries his hands, the way that he's carrying them a little bit low, which most people would say, hey, why are you doing that? I wonder if it's just kind of taking that body shot target away from Ergashev. He's maybe not seeing it.
Trying to bait him in. I think he's also baiting him in and trying to land his big shots. His right hand and left hook. But, you know, we need more activity, honestly, by both fighters. And I think Smith wants more of that, but Ergashev doesn't want to entertain that.
I'm not sure Smith didn't steal that round in the last minute, though. It's possible he did.
Well, here's something you don't see every day. The main event fighter, the star of the show, Claressa Shields, just out in the crowd, greeting fans. She's going to be in the ring pretty soon. There's only one more fight after this fight before hers.
Hey, man, this is her hometown pretty much, and this is her crowd, and she's relaxed, she's having fun.
Well, this is what you expect to see. Her opponent, Vanessa Lepage-Joannis, certainly no opponent in this one. She is the reigning champion, the WBC heavyweight champion, warming up in the back. The biggest night in the career of Vanessa Lepage-Joannis, one that would have been unthinkable even 5 years ago for Lepage-Joannis. More on that a little bit later, because we've got a nail-biter here in our opening contest between Ergashev and Smith.
With only 2 rounds left in this fight, and we've alluded to this, you have to think there's urgency in some ways on both sides, but certainly from Ergashev's standpoint, to put punches together. And if you're Smith and you are coming in here as an underdog, you have to feel like you have to get something done offensively as well to try and cement this.
You see Smith following him around. You know, he's trying to create an action-packed fight. You know, he's trying to score punches, blows, and Ergashev keeps moving backwards and holding on to him. You know, I'm really surprised the way Smith has been able to take those big bombs by Ergashev, because not a lot of guys have taken those shots.
There have been about 4 or 5 of those left hand, straight lefts that were very good.
Well, listen, guys, if there isn't a knockout in this fight, if you play the tape forward, you can kind of see how this is going to shake out. This is a quasi-hometown crowd for Ergashev that has turned against him. They've seen 2 knockdowns scored by Smith. If Smith doesn't get the decision, that is not going to be received well by the public.
And it's very possible that can happen.
There have been rounds that are close in this fight, but it feels like Smith has controlled the fight. And there's 1 knockdown that is been called a knockdown. So that's a 10-8 round.
There's that counter Again, the counter left hook by Smith.
Most of the meaningful punches are being landed by Smith.
And you would think because of the knockdown, and you would see a little bit more urgency from Ergashev to try to, be more aggressive and land more shots. But it's been the same. He's still trying to bait him in with the jab and trying to land left hands. Not too much activity. I think there's been a little bit more activity by Smith. Yeah, in my opinion,
he's thrown more in this round even. Obviously, not everything's landing, but some have, and Ergashev's landed a couple of decent shots.
Making a miss now. Look, good head movement there by Smith. A little bit off distance too.
It's astonishing in this fight how many times Smith's been off balance and not been countered.
Closing moments here of round 9, and there's that left hook again. An eye-catching shot from Julian Smith.
It was fast and quick.
Smith unloading again, using the right hand. That one landed just under the jaw, but nevertheless it landed effectively. And there again, using the jab to get that right hand in.
Probably enough to win the round, Al.
Could have been.
Yeah.
And there were some other good shots too, and we look back at more, but and that's the left hook. The left hook he was landing that we talked about.
He keeps landing that left hook and over with the right hand.
A 33-year-old who said his world would change tonight. It might.
10th and final round. Is Julian Smith on the brink of another stunning upset here tonight? Can he take out a world-ranked 140-pounder just months after knocking off a Cuban amateur standout?
Looks like Smith is bringing it to him this last round.
Well, the fascinating thing is Ergashev is still fighting off his back foot.
Yep.
Ergashev has never lost a 10-round fight. He is 2-0. And Smith lost his only time going 10. He had that 9th round knockout in that last fight that we talked about.
Just saw that counter.
And another one from Julian Smith. It just keeps coming.
Watch that right hand come right. Oh, it's coming, Corey. He's setting it up. He's in great. He's a strong fighter. He's in great shape too, guys.
Yeah. And this fight has not been fought at a torrid pace, which is helping him to some degree too.
Yeah, Smith has been able to work relatively casually throughout this fight, and there's a kind of confusing lack of urgency and energy from Ergashev considering the circumstances here in the 10th round.
I mean, you can tell by look at his body language, his face. He's a little bit beat up from his face too. He looks worried to me. He looks worried, honestly. Oh, look at that again.
Another right hand got there.
Yeah, this is definitely so far. I think Smith is taking this round.
Final minute of this contest. What a moment this would be for Julian Smith, who could very well find himself in the world rankings with a victory here tonight.
It would be the second big win in a row, which would merit some attention in a division where it's pretty tough to crack the top 20.
Wondering, the first deaf world champion was Mario Dagata all the way back in 1956 when he won the bantamweight title. A victory here tonight, Julian Smith, again, who knows? Depending on the sanctioning body decisions, again, could find himself world ranked.
And
Ergashev just misses with that left hand.
we don't know how this fight is being scored, do we?
No, we know that. Oh,
He's almost blocking shots there from Julian Smith, and he will get the last word.
oh, he definitely stole that round. Not a judge, but I think he won that round for it. We'll see.
If you needed an explanation, Mark, he gave it.
Well, you don't judge fights based on corner reactions, but Julian Smith went back to his corner and they celebrated immediately. Timur Ibragimov had to tell Ergashev, hey, go celebrate, go over there.
And again, a reminder, depending on how the score ends up, that at the end of an early round, there was a knockdown that was not called a knockdown.
There goes the 10-second mark. The referee says we got 10 seconds left, then they go at it, and Smith definitely got the best out of those 10 seconds. Power shots. I'll tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me if Ergashev was on his way down again. He was definitely hurt.
The 33-year-old Julian Smith awaiting the decision here. And the potential of what could be a life-changing victory. Well, the undefeated knockout artist Virgil Ortiz Jr. is back in action later this year when he takes on the Ukraine's Sergey Bohachuk. Ortiz has won all 21 of his professional fights by way of knockout. He'll be looking to extend that impressive streak in Las Vegas Saturday, August 10th. Two power punchers went at it here in this one. Not a high-tempo affair by any means, but a fascinating one. And the decision is in the hands of Pete Trevino. Let's send it up to Mr. Throwdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put a big round of applause together for both of the boxers in the center of the ring. After 10 rounds of super lightweight action, After 10 rounds of super lightweight action, the judges' scorecards read as follows. Judge D. Young scores the matchup 95-94 for Ergashev. Judge Delgado scores the bout 95-94 for Smith. And Judge Vincent Santino scores the matchup 95-94 for your winner by split decision, Julian, the Quiet Storm Smith.
Done it, the Quiet Storm. Julian Smith shocks the boxing world with an upset win over Shohjahon Ergashev. Unbelievable.
He deserves it. He